President Trump has been warning about the election night chaos over millions of unsolicited ballots. The president also referring to a case out of Pennsylvania where 9 absentee ballots, 7 of which were cast for President Trump, were found in the garbage near Scranton, Pennsylvania. We had just covered that segment with Liz Harrington, but now there are growing questions as to what will happen on election night. President Trump warning, as we've said, of chaos, but Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said in a tweet that voters shouldn't be concerned about a transfer of power, writing this, quote, "The winner of the November 3rd election will be inaugurated on January 20th. Mr. McConnell wrote on Twitter, "There will be an orderly transition, just as there have been every 4 years since 1792. Joining us to discuss, we welcome Rich Holt, a political consultant and member of the Black leadership group Project 21. Also want to add, Rich, that White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany said that the president will accept the results of a free and fair election. But I'll ask you, why do you think the idea of accepting American election results has become such a heated topic of conversation?
It's because mail-in ballots are so terrible that the Europeans abandoned them back in the 70s. It was rampant with fraud and corruption. Here in the United States, we have a serious problem with making sure that the ballots, when they get in, are actually counted. And the absentee balloting, vote by mail states, they always have these problems with fraud.
You know, if we recall, it wasn't too long ago that Hillary Clinton advised Joe Biden, do not concede under any circumstances. So where's the outrage for that?
Yeah, well, of course, it's absent because you're allowed to be mad if you're a liberal. You're allowed to fight if you're a liberal. You can, throw a Molotov cocktail at a police car and blow it up if you're a liberal. Or if you're a conservative, you're an evil villain. The fact is, they want to try to rig the election through mail-in voting, and there's not really much we can do except trust the mechanisms that we have in place to make sure that we have a fair system. And I think the Electoral College will do that just fine.
Rich, do you think we'll have the results on November 3rd?
No, absolutely not. And in fact, in states like Washington State, for example, I worked for the Republican Party there a couple of years ago. We were in a situation where 21 days after the election, we had to go out and confirm a lot of the mail-in ballots were even legitimate because the signatures didn't match. Now, if you can imagine a program like that going nationwide with all this mail-in voting, we could have ourselves a serious problem. I'd say we should have the answers by December 1st because most states certify their results within 21 or 28 days of the election.
When we've already learned that several mail-in ballots have been discarded, right? We've just been talking about that in Pennsylvania there. That's just one example. Do you feel confident that the mail-in system is going to guarantee that these ballots will arrive at their destination where they should be?
I think the problem that we have isn't with the post office or the mailing. That's only 2% of the total volume of the post office. The problem we're going to have is, do signatures match? Are they going to throw out the ballots if they come in from red counties, which is what happened in Pennsylvania and will happen in other states? They say, hey, this is from this zip code. They're probably a conservative. Oh, there's a problem, and they throw them out. And that's going to be much more rampant. We typically have enough in-person voting to overdo any corruption that we see. But because so many of the polls are going to be closed on election day, we're dealing with this is a whole new dilemma for us.